What is good, yo? Welcome to your favorite weekly podcast. Wait, that's right. Welcome to your favorite weekly podcast, Rebel Broadcast. And I am your host, the kid from Manila making waves, baby, Kobeast.
And this is Jezrelle, straight from the Queen City of the South.
And we are reporting to you live at Bomba Radio. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Joking.
For today's episode, this is gonna be a special episode because we got the legend, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Patrick
Rizarri.
Rizarri. What's up, Sir Pat?
What's up?
First of all, I love that intro. Do that one more time. I love that shit.
One more time. Okay. 1, 2, 3. No, you say action. Okay.
Action! Whoa!
Oh shit, that's some action right
There
there.
it is,
That's
so-
some action right there. Okay, so we got some special guests tonight. It's the band, the
It's
myth,
The
the legend. He's been making names from Hong Kong till Cebu, and he is Mr. Patrick Rizarri. Yes, sir. How you
Money
doing,
flying
Kuya?
out the way,
I'm,
man.
doing, I'm feeling great, man.
I mean, it's a Sunday. You got some. It's more of a Sunday sickness hangover. So you
Well-
got the coffee.
It's Sundays and chill, all right.
So, the first question will be, who is Patrick Rizarri and what is he all about?
Oh man, how much time do we got? It all started with an idea of having an artist name where the number one frustration growing up was my last name is always misspelled wrong. Okay, so it's always going to be Rizarri with 2 Z's, 2 R's, a different spelling whatsoever. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone would know that my last name is spelled with 1 Z, 2 R's, and it's spelled R-I-Z-A-R-R-I. So if you know, Patrick Rizarri is my artist name, and then I have a battle name as well, which is DJ Maverick. But a lot of Philippine, I think, especially here in the Philippine industry, people know me as Patrick Rizarri.
I got a question pala.
Sure.
We came at trademark last Thursday, and may napansin ako doon. May sticker doon nakalagay. It's like, sorry, not Rizarri.
Rizarri, not sorry.
So
Yeah.
how did you came up with that slogan? It's catchy, man. It's
Thank
catchy.
you, thank you. So, like a lot of artists, they like to have their own slogans, they like to have their own, quips, if you will. When I thought of something called Sorry Not Sorry, it just made sense for me to use my last name. So again,
Yeah.
the frustration was there to make sure that my last name is always going to be known. People's going to make that if it's a Rizarri, that's who that guy is. I want to make sure that it's a household name moving on forward. So yeah, Rizarri Not Sorry just made so much sense, and it reflects the personality that I am, the kind of things that I do, the kind of things I want to say, and all the actions. Yeah.
Would you consider that maybe adding another slogan like I got the Rizarri?
Oh, it's funny because we were like, my creative team and a lot of my friends were even saying like we should use the Riz. Shout out to my boy Yurik in Manila. He actually was the one who started calling me Riz God.
Yeah.
In Manila, and I was like, bro, why are you calling me Riz God, bro? I guarantee people are gonna start spelling my name wrong again. And lo and behold, when I started DJing in Manila, they're like, oh, his name is not Patrick Rizarri. Screw that. It's Riz God all the way.
Well, it's facts, man. You got that Riz for sure.
I mean,
Ano rin leverage rin na yung pag yung name mo, playful.
Right.
You can play with it. Like, Jezrelle, ano ba yung mga nilalaro natin pag pagtitripan natin yung name mo? Jiz is real.
Tayo na, nung sumama ka kay Florence, Flo Jiz, tangin na yan.
I'd rather have the Riz is real than the Jizz is real. Hey man, hey, but it's also real too, diba?
Yes, sir. I mean,
know.
to answer the question, if how much
Yes.
time we got, we can do it for 15 hours, man.
Oh man, I hope this camera has like a dummy battery, man.
Yes, sir. Okay. As we continue this podcast, let's go to the second question.
Sure.
Can you share a bit about your journey into becoming a DJ? What inspired you to pursue this career? And if I'm not mistaken, you started at Hong Kong, right?
I started here. Actually,
here.
I started
Okay,
here.
okay. I'm sorry.
So when I started here in the Philippines, Cebu specifically, because my first discipline in the entertainment industry was actually not DJing specifically. It was actually Broadway.
Okay.
So when I started off with theater, with acting, it was much more of a show. So when I got to a little bit older, put it that way, I was out in the clubs illegally. Just put it that way. I was 14 years old or straight out of college, and I'm thinking to myself, like, hey, I'm gonna go out and have some fun. I'm with my classmates, and I was in this hole-in-the-wall billiard spot. I'm trying to remember the name. It's blanking. It's kind of blanking out right now. But the one thing that really got me so fascinated was everyone was having fun. Everyone was having a great time. They were having their drinks. They're having great times with their friends and family. And it made me think, who's responsible of that fun? And I looked around because I'm thinking it could be a great atmosphere. It could be the great location. It could be the venue. And it made me realize, right, exactly. And it made me realize, who's that guy over there in the tables playing some music over there? And it made me realize it's the DJ.
Yeah.
So that would made me think, it was like my aha moment. I'm like, I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So at 15 years old, even before that, I was playing with my grandparents, like the typical Filipino American story. Filipino, I'm not saying I'm Filipino American. I'm just saying anybody who just loves music in general is just so fascinated with music, and everyone has that similar story. They got familiar with the turntables, they got familiar with, the family vinyls, the family records, and that's what made me think, I'm like, that's so interesting. You could play music from this song to another, and it tells a story.
Yeah.
Right? But it made me realize I could do this with music.
Yeah.
And then I started saving up my money with, like household chores, the $5 that your auntie from the United States would be like, oh, here's for you because I miss you.
Tapos yung patago pa, yung patago pa.
Diba, like, hey, ito yung 500. No?
Para
Keep it
nagpasa
lang.
ng weed na. Eto na, 5Gs dito. No?
And then it made me realize with all this money, I could buy records. I could buy music. And I saw this one record. I'll never forget this. I was in the States, and I was in this craft record and a record store, and I found a break record. It was by Qbert. Okay. And I was thinking to myself, perfect. I can start playing music. I can start dancing. I can start thinking about like choreography and all that. I was like 15 years old. I didn't know anything about that. When I got home, I got the record. I put it on the turntable, and all I could hear was da da da. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck did I just buy? I had no. It was a battle record, and I had no idea. Like, what am I gonna do with this? I'm like, crap. I can't do anything with this anymore. So it was like $15, $20 down the drain. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, what am I gonna do now? A few years later, I saw some guy in Hong Kong. No, sorry, it was here in the Philippines still. And I found this guy playing with a turntable, a very typical Vestax mixer. I think it was actually a Vestax. And then I heard the sound, that sample that everybody knows. That one, exactly. And I was like, oh, I know that sound. And then I heard him playing with the record, cutting it up, and I'm thinking, you could do that? And I'm like, how did you ever think of doing that? And that really opened up my mind to, if you can play with your hands on music, everything is going to be, like, the creativity is endless, right? There's infinite possibilities of formulas of how to DJ now. So, I mean, mind you, I was never classically trained. I never had like a mentor, but there's people that really paved the way that if it wasn't for them, there would be no DJ Maverick. There would be no Patrick Rizarri. So paying my dues, shout outs to Maxi Perez, shout outs to DJ Rolly, rest in peace, Manolo Abalier, John Areno, and the one person I can really say, the one person that if it wasn't for him, there would be no Patrick Rizarri, it would be Mark Ginto. He is, if you guys don't know, he is the gold standard of music here in Cebu. He is an OG, he's an amazing friend. And to this very day, he and I go way back. Like sometimes he would message me like the most random times, like, Patrick, did you go to this music store and buy all the fucking records again? I'll be like,
you
hey,
hopped it all up.
Hey man, I love turntables, so trust me when I say this, I broke a lot of records. I broke a lot of needles, and like, trust me when I say this, like these those short M447s, bro, they were not cheap, right?
Yeah, true.
It's expensive, exactly. But it also made me realize that with practice, you need repetition. With repetition, there's a lot of discipline, diba? And it was the biggest inspiration for me to really push the envelope to who I am now. Because I'm seeing a lot of DJs now, they really rely on new formulas on how to DJ. I mean, let's face it, they're always going to be growing. There's always going to be a constant change, right? You can say that, yeah, this guy can DJ, this guy can scratch, this guy can do that. This guy has amazing routines. But at the end of the day, for me, I think if I'm playing in a club, when I'm scratching, when I'm doing all of that, that's just seasoning. That's just salt and pepper. You want the full steak.
You want the full of fucking experience, right?
Exactly. So for me, that means you gotta play an amazing song in the amazing right time, and it's always about crowd reading, right?
True.
There's no better feeling the moment you see them, the crowd, 500 people, 5 people, 5,000 people, dancing, screaming, chanting to the most amazing song, or even like it's the top 40s right now, or a song that's been playing for 15, 16, 20 years ago, right? It could be like the hottest squabble, like Kendrick Lamar, Squabble Up right now. That's the #1 trending song right now. No denying it.
Yeah, true.
10, 15 years ago, what? I'm still playing No Hands. I'm still playing Daddy's Home. You know what I mean? I'm still playing that.
You'd play like Paper Planes and shit.
I'm no stranger to playing music where if it feels good for the moment, I'm playing it. Right? Yeah. I'm dropping my ego, I'm swallowing on my pride, because at the end of the day, you guys are there to have fun. True. Right? Anytime a club DJ comes in, let me rephrase that. Any DJ that comes into the club, they're gonna be playing the top 40. Everybody can do that, right?
And also, talagang, kumbaga, at the end of the day, a DJ's job is to fuck the crowd up.
Right, you gotta play good music. You just gotta play good music.
Yeah. As we're talking about that, if I'm not mistaken, yung roots mo talaga is turntablism, right?
Oh yeah, I started with vinyls.
Vinyls, oh shit. Tsaka wala pang nun dati, wala pang face no?
Oh yeah, wala pa talaga.
Sobrang hirap pa.
I can see the generational gap. When I see people with vinyls, they tend to be very what do you call that shit? They tend to be very quick on their feet and choosing songs. Instead of us, like the modern users, we use the laptops, we use the USBs. I mean, I could imagine the struggle before when you're trying to crate down on your stash right there, crates.
I love the word stash.
Dude. Well, I would ask right now, how different would you say is the struggle then to now?
Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the perfect example for this. This is a great story. This is a true story. I think I've said this in like a million interviews already, but I'll say this on this one.
Yeah.
My very first gig DJing wasn't really it was 100% on the fly.
Yeah.
It was something that I never expected. So again, I as I mentioned, Mark Ginto, right? He was that guy in this one club, and he was telling me, hey, because after college, during my college days, after classes, all my classmates would want to go to this one spot, have their drinks. I went there fresh for video games, right? And I've always wanted to have a nice snack right after school, because brain food. I got to this club, and he's like, it's not even a club, it's just a straight up bar. And he was like,
Here in Cebu.
Here in Cebu. And long story short, he tells me, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Here's my headphones. Here's my CDs. Here's my CDs. Just play 2 or 3 songs. I'll be right back.
Classic.
He gives me the headphones. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I'm just going to play one song, because I've already been watching him doing that, right? So I'm like, just load a CD, look for a specific song, look at his notes on what song he's going to play. And I've noticed like 58, 85, 100. And I was like, oh, so that's your BPM. That's the tempo. And I was like, E star. It's AM. So I was like, is that key or something like that?
So you didn't come there to play talaga?
No. I was there just to have like chicken wings or something. And he was like, Parang ganun, no? Stop lang magla. Right? And then he's like, here, take the headphones. Here's what's the fucked up part. When you talk about struggles, oh, it was a struggle, right? Because I was thinking it's just gonna be like 1 or 2 songs. He's gonna go to the bathroom. He's gonna go take a piss or whatever.
But before that, you already have a background.
Absolutely
DJing.
not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Because all I was doing was just watching these guys DJ. All I was doing was understanding how he did this song transition to this song.
So
why
parang
was he
nasa-
touching like the low, mid, highs?
Yeah.
Why he wasn't touching this? Why he was touching this little gray knob called trim gain or something like that?
As a learning phase ka pa noon.
100%. And I was thinking to myself, that's fascinating. Because again, going back, having your hand pushing a vinyl back and forth and it started to be a different sound when you just press play. That was the most fascinating thing to me. It was like me discovering fire.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. And then, again, the moment I put on my headphones, I see his car in the corner of my eye backing outside of the parking lot. I'm like, where the fuck is this guy going? He's got a bougie ass butt. He's gonna take
Yeah.
his shit in somewhere like some fancy ass casino right next door.
There's a term for that, bro.
Veterans move, diba?
Ginangster ka.
And here's what's crazy.
Pipped out, man.
Here's what's crazy. He comes back an hour later. My t-shirt was drenched. The place was starting to become empty again. And I'm like, you said 2 songs. That was 55 songs ago. Shit. What am I gonna do now? So yeah, to answer your question, the struggle was real, right? But it made me realize that time, as a DJ, time is your friend.
True.
Well, without training, it will be your enemy.
True. Would like to also ask with regards as being a DJ, I just happened to remember you had your single out. Where?
Oh wow, thank you.
Take me to that.
Oh man, so where do I begin? Oh my God, no pun intended. So here in the Philippines, I started off with records, right? Battle records, hip hop, turntablism. But when I got really so quote unquote famous or popular as a household name, it wasn't through my music. It was through my artist name. So from the radio, from RCTV, from MTV, from Mix and all that, all my other guestings from God knows, I could probably say like you pick an alphabet. I've probably been in that show, probably like in MTV,
Mix,
AXN.
AXN.
I've had some guestings. I had a very colorful background, and I'm very grateful for that. But here in the Philippines, when I started DJing all over the Philippines, like Manila, Davao, Cagayan de Oro, Dumaguete, Bohol, and so on and so forth, they knew me as the festival format DJ. So when the big boom of EDM came along, that was everybody saying, oh, if you want to listen to Patrick, he's going to be playing this kind of song. So when Life Dance came along, 2012, that was for me like the big next step of evolution of what Patrick Rizarri is going to be.
I mean, Life Dance, you did show the standard of how Cebu festivals are gonna be, especially in Sinulog. And would like to know, was house the first thing that came to mind when you made it?
Actually, it was. No, here's the thing, because it's a yes and a no answer. That is loud. See, God is listening. He's saying like, yeah, no bullshit, Pat.
Yes, sir.
But here's the thing. When I started DJing, as much as I really wanted to DJ with my creative roots, there wasn't a platform for me to do so.
Yeah.
Right? Because yes, you'll have ups and downs. Yes, there will be people challenging you. Like, you're a DJ? Nah, you're not properly trained. Fuck you. Go away. Right? There was always going to be some backlash. There's always going to be, like I said, challenges.
Politics
For sure. But it never made me realize, and I realized that that's not what's going to define who I am.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to say like, okay, I can't DJ because of this. No. The moment I can change the no to a yeah, holy shit. The moment I can change the no to a yes, how much more amazing is that going to feel? So that's why me challenging that status quo, me being that champion, moving forward, it just made sense. So for me playing house, sure, I'm gonna work my ass off, start having a foundation of me as a house DJ, and then start introducing my creative roots. Started playing a little bit of Broadway songs, started playing a little bit more of acapellas on the fly, and it made me realize Cebu's ready for this.
Yeah.
What about Manila? What about Dumaguete? What about Bohol? So I started giving little snippets here and there. And then fast forward about Hong Kong, I had an opportunity. This is actually off topic about DJing, but I had an opportunity to become a flight attendant in Hong Kong.
Oh shit.
So like there was a big craze about me giving up the DJ life. I think it was called from CDJs to serving trays.
What year was this? What year was this?
Oh man, this was when did my mom retire? My mom is one of the top 10 flight attendants in the world. She's she is an ISM, in-flight service manager for Cathay Pacific.
Hi,
She was
tita.
one of the top 10. Hi mom.
Shout out.
And then I got an invitation to, in a sense, replace her when she retires. I'll be the one next in line to take care of it as a legacy name for Cathay Pacific. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but I was already in Hong Kong. I was already living there. I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm just gonna try it. Just gonna try living here in Hong Kong a little bit more. I took the jump. So again, with big risk, there's big rewards. And my big risk was moving back to Hong Kong, right? Because I was born here. If you guys don't know, I was born here in Cebu, but I grew up in Hong Kong.
Okay.
I had a very wonderful Oxford education. I loved traveling with my parents.
Yeah.
My dad was always on tour on professional tennis, so I was going back and forth all over Asia. And I was thinking to myself, what a great opportunity for me to absorb different kinds of cultures.
Yeah.
Like learning French, learning Spanish, having Portuguese friends, having black friends, having white, having every color, race, you name it, nationality, we've been there. But it also made me realize this kind of education, this kind of culture, not a lot of people will understand it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people will, syempre, embrace it. Like, oy, ito, foreigner to, pero mukhang Pinoy talaga.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and funny story, and this is a real true story, you hear me speaking in an American accent, a very Western accent, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in Hong Kong, full-on British. I grew up in King George V. We had a full-on all English teachers, all English-speaking teachers. It was a multinational, multicultural environment, but it was predominantly spoken in Oxford English, right? British. So it's so funny when I come to the Philippines and it doesn't make sense that I look like a Cebuano. I look like this
mo nga
talaga.
kanina sa
Diba?
Tago, napahawa ko sa ilong ko, sabi ko, oh shit.
Nosebleed
It's gonna
na
be
bigla.
challenging, man.
The struggle will also be real. Diba? But it also made me realize that in order for me to have a conversation, and syempre, real talk lang, to survive here, I really had to drop my British accent because it doesn't make sense. And also, like, the way I would speak it, and some words are different here.
Yeah.
So French fries is chips to me. So if I go to like McDonald's, right? Wait, excuse me, ma'am, can I get a 6-piece nuggets and chips, please? And they would be like,
Oh.
sir, sir, that one large. I'll be like that, Coke, and I would just point and say, and I'm like, I'm a stranger in my own country, and I feel terrible about it. So in order for me to,
at that point,
diba?
yeah, exactly.
So that's why for me, again, like the struggles has always been real. So it made me realize, okay, in order for me to really move on and be better, not only would be, in a sense, easier to consume, a Western accent makes sense. So having college friends here, having friends in Manila speaking to me in Taglish, it would be like, I understand that, I understand this. How am I going to communicate to you guys better? So again, a big reflection to how I DJ is if you guys are having fun with top 40, I'm going to give you top 40. If you guys are being a little bit more experimentative, a little bit more exploring in that mode, I'll give you some crazy stuff too. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm here to entertain you guys.
That's great, man. Would like to move on to the next question.
Sure.
Wildest Sinulog for you. What year? What year is the wildest Sinulog for you? Most memorable.
Man. My favorite sinulog. Okay. Oh man. So pick a number. So 2016 for me would still be my favorite one.
Hey, was that the one you were at Life Dance?
Life Dance with DJ Snake.
With Snake?
DJ Snake.
It's also the golden years of EDM dito sa atin sa Philippines.
Yeah,
2016.
actually, yeah. So, when I started off DJing, it was never in my wildest dreams would I be actually DJing for someone who plays in an EDM setting. Get this, he's a trap artist, right? He plays trap music, he plays EDM, but guess what? He plays with turntables.
Actually, sa mga international, siya lang no?
He plays with turntables,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's his understanding of how to DJ. This is his way to translate his creativity.
Oh,
God
shit.
damn.
I'm gonna say that again because I think I shit my pants. This was his way of introducing his creativity with music, right? And it made me realize I don't need to conform anymore. That was my aha moment. If I'm gonna DJ, and if you want me to DJ in your establishment, in your club for 5 friends, for 50 friends, for 5,000 people, for tickets, for concerts, for opening shows, or as a primetime showcase DJ.
Yeah.
This is the equipment that I'm gonna need for me to really fucking rock it. So 2016, the reason why I'll say it was never forever memorable for me is because that was my aha moment to stop conforming.
I just want to add up this question. This is from a turntablist enthusiast question. Syempre, like you said, you started on playing vinyls. And it's old school, right? And the time came na pumutok na yung EDM era, so everybody's trying to play like CDJs, and the culture of vinyls and turntablism kind of died, not really died down, pero kind of died down kasi nga EDM was the thing back then.
Okay.
Pero at the present time ngayon, there's some newer generations na they really wanna fuck with vinyls. Lalo na may face na SL boxes, mas madali mo na mako-connect yung laptops mo. How does it feel na you came from that era, and from this new generation, they wanna play with that era, turntablism?
So you're talking again. This is something where it's a very delicate topic, but it's a topic I'm more than happy to talk about because I belong to both eras, to both generations. The evolution of where analog meets digital, right? And this is where the analog DJs had to understand that the digital era is coming, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So you either had to get on board or get left behind, right? So for me, understanding that now that it's a full-time job, never did I ever expect that. A passion of mine, that's something I just love doing, collecting. It's a hobby of mine.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love DJing, and it's paying the bills more than I ever expected.
Yeah.
But it also comes down to the point that it's a hobby. It's something I love doing. And imagine I'm getting paid to fucking do this?
Diba?
Say
It doesn't
less.
feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work. Exactly. So now, imagine where I started off with vinyls, records, a battle record, right? And then the generation where I'm sure a lot of DJs understand was burning CDs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Giving your fucking PC cancer just to get one MP3, and you pray to God it's the right song, right?
LimeWire and shit.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna do you one better. Napster and Morpheus. That was my shit.
Napster.
That was my shit, right? LimeWire and Generation, bro. I grew up with Napster. I started off with ICQ, all of that shit, bro. MIRC, LMNOP, all of the letters, bro. And then when I think that actually, if it wasn't the CDs, the biggest generational gap or the generational evolution of DJing would be record box with USBs, right? So imagine having something very heavy, very expensive, right? And I will say this through experience, I've lost a lot of records on my time touring around the Philippines, touring around Asia. It would be lost in luggage when I travel around. And I'm thinking, okay, if I were to lose this luggage, what am I gonna do? Because the number one rule for me is, and as a DJ, is if it's not being creative, you have to be backing up your backup. You back up the backup no matter what. So imagine you can't DJ here because you lost your battle records. Okay, as a promoter, as the bar owner, I can't pay you because you can't DJ. So it made me realize, okay, backup is the backup. Ito yung parang, for me, that is the number one rule, like golden rule of DJing.
Because you can't play songs if you don't have it. That's why right now you see people having hard drives with their laptop. They have like at least 4 or 6 USBs with them.
Steve Jobs said it the best. Imagine your creativity, all your hard work in the palm of your hands.
Tsaka DJing is not just playing records, making people dance. You really have to know the technicals. Kasi
Of course.
lalo na technology is here, you're playing with technology, man.
Yeah.
Pwede siya mag-crash anytime. So, at pag nangyari yung panahon na yun, kailangan ready ka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it's
that.
just like where turntablism, the creativity there, I don't think it really died off. It just got left behind.
Yeah.
Because as painful as it is for me to say it, because a lot of DJs, especially in that era, they worked so hard. They saved up money for that one record. I felt it. I know it. I know that feeling 100%. But the people nowadays, they just go online, they click on a record pool. The job is done for you. So imagine me physically going to a very rare record shop, crate digging, and I found a golden gem for like $2.99.
Yung may white tape pa, no?
If not, it would be a 45 record. Do you guys know what a 45 record is?
45 is the small one, diba?
The smaller 7-inch vinyls, right?
Yeah.
So traditional 12-inch, there'll be like $5, $6, $7, maybe $8 more. And then 45s, instead of having 5 songs, probably like 2 or 3 in there, right? Because they're much smaller, they're much more lightweight, and they're honestly a lot easier to carry, especially for like luggage. You check that in, you travel around, or when you bring it home, right? So convenience siya talaga, right?
Tsaka ngayon, you can just pull up with a USB.
Exactly.
Dati crates.
Trust me when I say this, my back thanks technology. Right?
True.
Thank you, Serato. Thank you, Alpha Theta, for having such amazing, advances in the DJ world with Record Box, even with like guys from, I gotta pay my dues too. Real talk. Shout out to Native Instruments. Shout out to my boy Jenny.
Hey.
He was the guy. Johnny. Who's Jenny? Johnny. He was the guy who really pushed me forward getting a tractor piece. He was that one guy. He's like, hey, I saw you DJing with vinyls. Have you ever tried digital vinyl system? What's DVS? What does that mean? And he showed me what he could do with tractor, and I was like, I gotta give me one of those.
Oh, automatic.
Yeah, it was like shut up and take my money, 100%.
Sige. And moving on to the next question for the podcast. What was the nightlife scene like in Cebu when you started out, and how did it shape your music style?
Oh, again, so it's all about the culture, right? It was always about having them. It was always about them, plain and simple. If the musical consumption back in the day was top 40 hip hop, that's what everyone's going to listen to. But now with technology like Spotify, Apple Music, everyone wants to listen to what they want to listen,
hear.
right? Because everyone has their own flavor. Everyone has their own sense of what they want to listen to.
Hell,
My taste sila, diba? Everyone has a certain taste of music.
Hell, even Spotify makes a playlist out of what you listen to.
And they do it for you.
They do it
for you. Again, convenience is such a crazy word when it comes to DJing. It used to be creativity. Now it's convenience.
Yeah, tsaka as a DJ, Spotify, minsan doon na rin ako kumukuha ng vibe sa mga playlist. Pero ito, since we're talking about changes sa gusto ng tao, like you said, you've been on the old school side up until the digital side. Can you give us tips and some advices na kasi change is constant.
Of course.
Trend is constant.
Yep.
Kung hindi ka makakasabay, you'll get left out.
Oh yeah.
So how did you do it?
So again, for me it was two things. Actually, it was two things. One was the understanding of what the next generation is going to be, what the next generation wants. When I mean by next generation, the next generation of DJs, the next generation of club goers, the next generation of people who's going to be paying you to go to these clubs, paying you to literally, I'm going to go here, I'm going to play music, here's my TF, thank you so much, I'll see you on the next event, right? You also have to create a genuine connection with not just the bar owners, not just the promoters, not just the organizers, but for you guys, right? You have to connect with the people who's listening to us right now. You have to connect to the people that's not even listening to us.
Yes.
Right? You also have to create discoverability.
Yes.
So I'm a very firm believer of relevance and discoverability. If you're not talked about, you're not important. Right? Haters can hate all they want, but at the end of the day, they're talking about you, right?
Yes.
So what does that mean? You are in that conversation. You are in their heads. Sooner or later, they're going to be fans. Case in point, Justin Bieber.
Bad publicity is good publicity.
I'll take them all. And here in this industry, you're going to make a lot of friends.
And you're going to make a lot of enemies.
And you're going to make enemies too.
No doubt.
I'm sorry?
I mean, how do you deal with it? Making a lot of enemies, issues.
Here's the thing. I don't really give a fuck about politics here.
Okay.
Right? If you don't like me, plain and simple.
Yeah.
If you don't like me, cool. But if we're on the clock and we're in the same event together, we're in the same club, we're having, drinks together, whatever the case may be, it doesn't change the fact that we're here for a higher purpose. We're here for something else. Right? I don't care about your beef and my beef. But if we're here to kill it because we're paid to do so, or we're here to show off a brand new record, or if there's like a publicity thing that we have to take care of, that's what you're here to do. When you're on the clock, you're on the clock. Bahala kayo if you're gonna be talking shit about me, but hey, that's your problem, not mine. That's a you problem.
At the end of the day, we're doing our job. No?
Exactly, right? Things we do to pay the bills.
Yes.
But it doesn't change the fact that now I'm not gonna change who I am for you.
Yes.
If you got a problem with me, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, fuck it.
Diba? Let's face it, there's always going to be many friends here in this industry. But syempre, you'll also make people that are like, no, this guy's not it. This guy's
the shit.
They'll think otherwise, diba?
Yeah,
But again, ultimately, it's how you become relevant and how you become discoverable for this.
Yeah. So, we're down to our last question for the podcast.
We got second.
Oh, hold it. Second pala. I'm sorry.
We got, okay.
We got to cut that out. Sorry. So we're going to the last question rather. Who were your big influences when you first started DJing?
Oh man, this is one of my actual questions that I love to ask my friends too. In my world of the DJ Mount Rushmore, it would be number one. I've met him. I've hung out with him. He is an amazing guy. He's a funny cat, but oh my God, he is so creative. He is the biggest inspiration for me. It still has to be the magnificent Jazzy Jeff.
Oh damn!
Right?
Jazzy Jeff, man.
I've met with him. I actually had a
legend.
It was just around this month, a couple of years ago, in one of my residencies in Hong Kong. He played there, jaw dropped.
Oh man!
Right?
When you have a Grammy-nominated DJ playing for you, that's a real honor, man.
Yep.
Like, I'd be mind fucked when you see like, I'm hanging out with this fucking dude. Oh, he has all the credentials. He has everything that you would ask for.
Yep. And he just got, awarded for DJ Hall of Fame. So yeah, amazing.
Tsaka, think about it. Simula nung sinabi niyang there's nothing wrong about using sync, nahimik na yung tao.
Here's the thing.
They should die down.
Here's the thing. Like, that's a generational thing too, because like when they say like the new advances of technology, I'm sorry we're going off topic here, but
yeah, of course.
It was, again, I'm a very firm believer that technology is something that you should be using.
Yeah.
Not something you should be considering as taboo.
Yeah.
Right? I'll say it right in front of you guys. I use sync. I have no problem using sync. Why? Because it helps me get to be more creative. Oh, we're getting wet. You guys okay?
Oh, shit. Oh, it's okay.
Okay. What was I talking about again? All right, so sync, I use it all the time. I have no problem using it because number one, it gets me to the next step of what I want to play next.
Yeah.
Or if I have like a routine that I want to do to, or change into something else, I just press sync once. I use simple sync. I don't do beat sync or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I get the tempo right. I will manually add the song in, and I get to do what I want to do.
Mhm.
It helps me translate what I have in my head through my hands to you guys to listen to.
Yeah.
I don't care about the technologies of sync or whatever, key tempo blending is, whatever the new formula is now. Just play good music, plain and simple.
Diba?
Diba?
Kasi nagkaroon ng phase dati na talagang usapan yan eh. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody gets a trash talk that shit. Like, why use sync when you can be staying with the manual route with the tempo faders and shit.
If that was me, I'd be like, okay, go back to using vinyl then. Go back to this one. I'd like to see you DJ with this. And better yet, if you have like the hottest record, I doubt you're gonna have that song in wax because that song hasn't even been pressed yet. Diba? If you were to have like brand new songs, how are you gonna get this song physically? Diba? Analog versus digital. You can't have this conversation properly without figuring out which is which. If I'm gonna play full on digital, go digital. But if you want to play with an analog mindset, now imagine your creativity. Now imagine the kind of possibilities you could do now.
Yeah.
Now, as again, big smile on my face, it's endless. The creativity and possibilities are endless. Because 100%, and I will say this, and I'll put this down, dick out 100%, there is no way you can't DJ without being creative.
Exactly.
Right? So,
Kung walang
that's
creativity,
DJ Jeff to me. Right?
It's the purpose of if like what Kobe said, if there's no art, if there's no creativity, it kind of makes it pointless of you being an artist.
Correct. So, oh my God, biggest influences, it'd be Jazzy Jeff. Oh man, who did I hang out with? Like, who have I DJ'd with? Who have I been on tour with? Grandmaster Flash was a very big experience with me. I've had a very blessed experience to hang out, and I was very grateful to be one of the supporting artists for DJ Blaze, DJ Cut. Shortcut was one of the biggest influences, and then of course, last but not the least, I gotta give credits to Qbert.
Yes, sir.
So if it wasn't for that one record, I think it was a Super Seal or something like that. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. And also, truth be told, I wouldn't be part of his crew.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Mysterious family. Shout out to Kendo, the DJ, and to the rest of the Mysterious family. Love you guys.
Tsaka Qbert is one of the first Filipino-Americans na naglaban ng mobile DJing scene
to
pa lang
really
eh.
push the envelope further.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's face it, a lot of Filipinos are just amazing musical, creative artists, right? We know how to sing, we know how to dance, we know how to be creative. And it's just amazing that DJing is a platform for us to show off our creativity. And that's why for me, like, as much as I love Broadway, as much as I love acting, as much as I love doing, stunt work and voice acting work for different shows, different movies, but it just made me realize that playing music is what makes me really happy.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Okay, for the last question
Sure.
of the first page. Because
I love it.
we're gonna
Guys, we're gonna be here
head
all
to the
fucking night,
next
guys.
one.
We're gonna be here all night.
Yes, sir. 15 hours, man. So, for the last question of the first page, what challenges did you face as a pioneer DJ in Cebu nightlife scene, and how did you overcome them?
Oh man, that's a great question. I mean, I can't really say I'm a pioneering DJ because there's a lot of DJs before me that I could really say that they paved the way for DJs like me and for the DJs after me to really become who we are. Shout outs to those guys again. Shout outs to John. Shout outs to Maura Balye, DJ Rolly, rest in peace. I miss you every day. And of course, my boy Maxi. But it was also more of where if you're not the champion of this kind of genre, this kind of era, this kind of formula of mixing as a DJ, who are you going to inspire the next generation with?
Yeah.
Right? For me, just to before I answer that question, the one person I can say who was a very strong champion, like he's that, if you were to talk about a Cebuano's DJ, like who's your favorite DJ? And then everybody would say this one guy. For me, it would be Benny Rock,
Oh,
right?
rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Benny Rock, right? Benny, basically, if you guys don't know, he was that guy, right? As funny as he was, I miss you every day, bro. But he was that guy that to say, if you were to say that a Manila DJ is better than a Cebuano DJ, the conversation would be endless, right? But if you were to say a Cebuano DJ is better than this DJ, then that DJ, then this DJ, then that DJ, it would be like, what are you talking about? No. For me, that's where, again, you challenge that status quo. That's what Benny was to me, right? He was that guy that really changed the ideas, that really changed the format. If you were to say, if I'm from the Philippines, this is what I can play. Case in point, if you were to say that right now, shout out to my boy Carlo, right? He wowed the fucking world when he came into Red Bull 3 style, right? Is he a pioneer for battle DJs in the Philippines? It's a yes and a no for me, because he's a yes for the pioneering DJs for the new generation to come. But shout outs to him doing his homework, researching the formula, researching what to play, how to play it for an amazing crowd, for an amazing establishment like Red Bull 3 style, right? To really answer your question, what really changed the game for me and what really put me as, in a sense, to really challenge it, I would say two things. Actually, one. If it wasn't for me being creative, there would be no channel or new platform for what the Cebu nightlife would be. I think that's one of the many reasons why I created Hot Sauce. So Hot Sauce is this platform for not just DJs, but a set of collective artists, singers, rappers, musicians. We've had different kinds of dancers, from traditional hip hop, from ballet to we were this close, real talk, to having it in trademark for a circus act.
Whoa.
Acrobats, fire breathing, sword swallowing. But at the same time, I'm like, guys, I don't want you guys to, throw fire.
Throw fire.
Like, nah.
TM's gonna be gone.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be that guy responsible all over the news. Club shuts down because of a fire breathing accident. Like, no. That's a big no. But that's why, again, Hot Sauce was such a big inspiration for me to really create a platform for the next generation. Because let's face it, I'm 36 years old right now, and Jazzy Jeff really said it the best way I can ever say it. When you're 50, you're an authority, right? So I got some time left to really show not just the Philippines, but to the next generation that you could say, hey, I'm playing here, this is what I do, and if you love what I do, here's what I can do for you guys for the next generation. And this is me literally pushing that next generation forward. I want to make sure that everyone is going to have an opportunity with a perfect platform, a safe, political-free platform, just for them to actually have a way to showcase their possibilities to DJ, to showcase their brand new single, to showcase that I want to be an artist. How do I do so?
Yeah.
Here's Hot Sauce Tuesdays.
Okay, guys. Tsaka ayun rin naman. I mean, for me, that should be the sense rin naman of being an artist. Yung may iwan kang legacy.
Siyempre, 100%. Diba, like, it's not where, if I were to say, and this is very touchy for me, because I've always had these struggles before. I've always had these ups and downs where people literally would jeopardize my opportunity to take the next step. Right? I mean, even with acting, I could have been I don't need to say it, but I could have been a much more popular actor than I was before, but I got stopped back because of this. But it never changed the fact that I'm still here. Yeah. You're still talking about it. Yeah. And here we are now. Diba? Where are you guys now? Diba? Parang ganun. And it made me all the more hungry to make sure that, sorry, let me rephrase that. It made me all the more grateful, and it made me realize I need to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else.
Sir, yes, sir. Ito, sir. As a prominent name in the scene, the Philippine nightlife scene, Cebu nightlife scene, how do you think your work has influenced Cebu's club culture and music scene?
Oh man, I love pushing the envelope forward no matter what. It's, when you say influence for me, I have to give credits to the influences that really made me who I am, right? It's that sound that really got me interesting to what kind of music it is. It's that California vibe, a lot of Western hip hop scenes, a lot of house music from the East. And it never made me realize, it never changed who I am. You have to be a sponge in the industry, but you also have to be a very hard sponge, right? Because if it's full of water, you squeeze it, it's all gone. You need to be tough also, because this industry is not for softies.
Yes.
100%. If you're soft, you're gonna get stamped on no matter what.
Yes.
You're gonna get pushed over. You're always gonna be challenged. And shout outs to all the DJs who are still going through it, but they're challenging. They're grinding through it, because at the end of the day, they know it's worth it.
Yes.
And if you don't have that hunger, why take the first step? Diba?
Yeah.
Why would you want to go through these kind of hardships if you don't see it that it's worth it? You just want to get a quick buck? This is not the job for you. If you want to get famous, that's one part of the perks. But if you don't have that discipline, you don't have that love for music, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? What are you doing here?
Actually, talking about the box, may mga iba na ganun na akala na they just wanna DJ because they think na madali yung cash, madali yung money.
How much? I will say this. I've seen a lot of people, they literally come to me and ask for like a mentorship or like for like a class lang. What do you want? And I would always ask this, my first question. Why do you want to DJ? Oh, bro.
Extra
daming
income.
girls, bro. I like this girl. Like no, bro. That's not. You want attention? Go to OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like you want attention? Go make a porno or something.
I mean,
sorry. Can we say that?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, like, sell your titties for something like that, right?
Tsaka I mean, sa industry, talagang kung papasukin mo to, the industry's gonna chew you up, spit you out, and chew you up again bago mo makuha yung ROI mo sa in-invest mo dito.
100%. I mean, listen, shout outs to Seth Gutierrez, shout outs to Angus Wong. These guys are, and Daryl Griggs. Oh my God, and Daryl Griggs. These three people, I will say, that really gave me an influence and gave me an opportunity to really grow out there in Hong Kong. If it wasn't for them, it wasn't for their push, for their influences, there would be no namesake in Hong Kong as well, right? Having to DJ for numerous corporate events, some festivals over there, Ultra for as an example. I'd never had this experience to actually be there, not just on stage, but to really hang out with the people over there too. And they'd be like, "Hey, aren't you that guy I just met in Manila a few weeks ago?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. Hi, nice to meet you." "You're here too?" Like, "Yeah, I didn't know you were a DJ." So again, it's opportunities, right? And it's also where, I mean, even shout out to Nothing Much Limited from my boy Paul. We brought in, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but when Hong Kong was still going through the pandemic, actually before that, let me rephrase that. It was right before the pandemic happened, we were starting doing international gigs for touring DJs. And one artist that in particular that we saw that was coming to Hong Kong, was like, "Hey, perfect. We're gonna snatch him up. We're gonna have fun with him." And he called one of our friends up too. It was Lil Jon.
Oh, damn.
So we got Lil Jon, we got my boy Seth, we got Daryl Griggs to DJ there. One thing led to another. We're hanging out, we're having fun. We were popping 1942 like crazy. 3 days later, we went to Tokyo. And I'm like, guys, is this real? Is this a real thing right now?
Yeah.
So again, influences, it's all about, I sound like a broken record already, no pun intended, but it's always about relevance and discoverability, right? If you're around these kind of people where they listen to this kind of music, I guarantee you that's going to influence you the kind of music you like.
Yes.
Right? If you love rock music, I guarantee you're going to influence the way you DJ with rock music, like my boy Aryan, right? Right? If you love EDM, you love playing live drums, that's going to be someone DJing
like in a hybrid
exactly.
set, like you're gonna do drumming or even synthesizers on stage.
It's all about the way you want to be creative.
Yes. So we'd like to ask also, what venues or events do you feel have been the most instrumental rather in shaping Cebu's nightlife?
There's a lot of establishments here in Cebu that really shape and pave the way for the nightlife industry and for
Okay.
All right. Sure. There's a lot of last one though. There's a lot of influences and there's a lot of establishments for me that really paved the way where Cebu is now.
Yeah.
Number one for me, it has to be Voodoo, right? The baddest club that ever was.
Haven't heard that name. Haven't heard that club in a long time.
Right? It was the place that really was, if you don't know it, if you know, you know. Voodoo, right? Loft in the penthouse. For me, I could definitely say Barcode. I can definitely talk about all these different establishments and influences with DJing, but it really was for the people, right? And then clubs started getting bigger, fancier, more efficient, more fun, more interactive. Like Trademark, right? Trademark, again, the key word is the California influence in the Cebu nightlife, right? So we would bring in bottle service when you order a bottle of champagne or any bottle for that matter. You're going to have a live DJ. You're going to have an MC. You're going to have theatrics into the show. You're going to have dancers. You could have someone performing there live. And you would not only have that, you would have not just the actual influence, you would have the DJ or the artist that brought in the influence. Miles Medina, DJ Metro from the Chicago Bulls, DJ Kenzo from the Sacramento Kings. Anybody who is somebody in that industry has an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
Bella Fiasco, my homegirl, right? I love that girl to death, and she's a real one, right? No matter what, she'll always play for you guys. And that's what it really should be about.
So, let's jump up to the last question. Ito, it's not even a question. We just wanna ask for an advice. What advice would you give to aspiring DJs, especially those from Cebu or other local scenes?
That's a great question. I will say this: always be creative, and taking the first step is the best step of your life. So when I say that, imagine when you want to save up money for the most expensive equipment, you don't need to. I'll tell you guys right now, before I started having my own set of equipment, I bought this like secondhand Behringer controller. I think it was like 10,000 pesos at the time. It's like $200. And then one thing led to another. I started getting paid to DJ. I started saving up money. Just take the first step. And I promise you, you will have an amazing time and an amazing journey as a DJ.
You heard it from the man himself. There you have it, Sir Patrick. Thank you so much.
Hey man, thank you so
much.
much.
It's been fun to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.
It's fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Once again, I go by the name of Kobeast. Back to back with my boy.
Jezrelle, straight from the Queen City of the South.
And you are listening to Rebel Broadcast. That was fun.
Thank you. Kala ko 15 hours.